Hey guys, gals, and MBs. So I'm here today with the Novation Summit with my brand new setup. And the setup is a little bit more complicated than I used to do, but I like it. So that's cool because now I have a VTuber. So that's really awesome. And this is probably the most unique one that I've seen so far. I mean, Means Recording has done a few things over there with some of his furry characters in live video, but this is a little different. So my significant other is going to make me some furry paws at some point, so that'll be fun. So yeah, then that'll be not the hands, so that'll be really cute. But that said, yeah, this setup was a little more complicated to set up, but it's easier for me to film and a lot easier to edit, and it's a lot better on my back because I'm not sitting on the floor. So I guess we'll just kind of get into the Summit. So I played with the Summit for a few hours last night, and I absolutely adore the thing. I honestly should have gotten the Summit instead of another Peak back when I got the other Peak, but it is what it is. Now I have a Summit. It is fantastic. We're just going to explore a few things that I found out last night on it. I'm not too super versed on it yet. I'm super versed on the Peak, obviously. I've made a lot of content using the Peak, but it's a little different, and I like it. The multi-modes are absolutely fantastic. When you first turn it on, the dystopian patches in single mode, it sounds really cool. Let's just listen. Very, very gorgeous sounding. That is a good patch to have open, or as your primary patch. There's so many synths on the market that the first patch you get are absolutely garbage, but at least the Summit isn't. Let's go ahead and go into the layer or the dual mode. Oh wait, we go into multi, and the first one we get there is called FM Singularity. Yeah, so it's not the best secondary patch. One thing that I did notice out of the gate is this right here. You see this? You see the blue is going to be patch A or layer A, and B is the amber, or like it's actually more of a red. This is more like of an amber. That's like the red. And it tells you the voice allocation to both those. That is a lovely attention to detail there. So yeah. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and make a patch from scratch in the multi-mode. So as far as I can tell, what you do is you go into part A, you initialize, you go into part B, and you initialize, and now down here, we're in a layer mode. I'm going to do a split mode. So we'll do split, so we should have saws on both. And the split point is right about here, I think. Sure is. So if I go here, you can tell it's blue. And now you see the amber. All right, so we're going to make like a unison bass patch on the lower side, and then we're going to do some kind of plucked patch on the top part. I think that'll be lovely. All right, so to get started, I guess, let's just bring in a second oscillator. We'll use saws on both, and then I'm gonna go ahead and detune the second oscillator just a bit. And let's just go all out on this. We're going to use the virtual super saw. So I think that's in here. Oscillator 1. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. It's like right here, saw density. We're going to turn it way up. We're going to go to oscillator 2. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring it way the hell up. And we're just going to get even more more massive on that, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick it. We're going to stick it into mono with legato, and we're going to give it a little bit of glide maybe, but we're going to turn on unison. And I'm trying to figure out, how do you do unison on this one? So I think, oh yeah, you go into the voice menu, you turn the unison. We're going to use 8 voices. Oh, geez. I'll make sure I'm not clipping there. Maybe I turn it down a little just to make sure. Let's give it a little bit of release. We're going to turn the filter all the way down. We're going to give it a little filter depth here. So we're going to use... I should say we're going to use the filter envelope to shape the filter. We're going to go in 24 dB per octave. We're going to give it a little resonance. That sounds massive, doesn't it? Let's add some stereo to that, and we're going to do that with the reverb. So let's just add all of the reverb. Let's go to mode 3. Let's turn down the envelope a little to make it a little faster. Oof, that's a little much. We want the decay to be around 10. Turn the depth down. Turn the VCA gain down quite a bit. That's some glide. So if we play legato, oh, it's not gliding. Do we need more glide time? We sure do. Let's add a little more glide time. But as you hear now, our second layer is still our init patch. That's so cool. You're getting the idea. Let's just go for everything. Let's add a 16-foot oscillator for 3, and we're going to make it a triangle. So let's give it a bit of a Prophet 6 vibe. Oh, I hope you're listening to this on good headphones, because that is filling rattling. Sub bass. Let's turn down the VCA gain a little more. Make it a little faster. A little less envelope depth. Oh, we're still we're clipping the internal effects engine. Damn, that just woof. Oh, that's nice. All right. I mean, I guess we got our left hand patch done. So for our bass notes, that's just it's like just so massive. And now the last thing I want to add in, I totally forgot. We should go back to that patch and go here to voice, we need to turn on more of some more unison spread. Let's do this. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what we want. All right, so we could go very similar on this next patch. So let's just do that. Let's just go two sawtooths, right? Let's do 2 sawtooths. And then let's detune one. I don't know what I want to do with that. Maybe we will. Maybe we will make one a triangle. Let's see. Let's give it a bit of a release, shall we? I'm going to turn them down an octave. Let's go ahead and give it a little, let's do the envelope on here too. Let's just use this. So yeah. We'll do something brassy. Let's go 12 dB. A little less depth. Yeah, I like that. All right, let's add some effects to the top part. Probably just going to add a bit of reverb. Let's go into the effects section. Make sure we don't have any pre-delay. I guess, okay, so we go to reverb. We do. That's fine on the pad that we have on the lower register, but I don't want it up here. Let's go over here and add a little bit of mod rate to this one. Maybe a little less mod rate, a little more time. Let's make it a little more brassy by adding some attack, huh? So moody, I like that. Maybe a little more time on the reverb. Let's go back to layer A and make it a little louder. I'm pretty sure there's an easier way to go about this within the layering menus that I need to learn, but I'm just going to use VCA gain anyway for now. Oh yeah, that's amazing. I am actually super stoked with having the synth again, or the 2 peaks in 1 basically. Never had a summit obviously, but yeah, same idea, but 2 of them. I like that a lot. That is one hell of a synth for sure. I do love the interface. I love the build quality. The build quality is absolutely fantastic. I always thought the Peak had fairly decent build quality for its price point. I mean, it's not a cheap synth, but it's not like a super expensive synth. Now, this definitely feels like a premium synth. The key bed is a little bit on the weak side, I would say. It's not bad. Obviously, you can see that I can... Oops, I'm in the wrong performance. Yeah, so it's easy to use. It's nice and quick. It doesn't have the FITAR bounce to it, where it feels super premium, but it doesn't feel super crappy either. I felt definitely way worse keybeds. I will say that the keybed on the Hydrasynth is way worse in terms of sponginess, but the aftertouch is a lot harder to activate from what I can tell on this one. And I've also been told, my viewers stated that. So yeah, it's just a little harder to activate, where the Hydrasynth I think has the best feeling aftertouch. The keybed in general isn't the best feeling keybed, but yeah, like I said, I felt way worse. What is it, the Nectar or whatever keybeds? Like, those are awful. I've felt one of the controllers once, and I'm just like, good God, this does not feel nice. Or like maybe the... Yeah, that's the one that comes to mind, but it's definitely not in that quality. This is just maybe a tiny bit below a FITAR keybed. Where I said that the MPC Key 37 was a tiny bit under a FITAR keybed, this is about the same, I would say. I wonder if they're using the same manufacturer. Like, that'd be interesting. I mean, they're not related companies, but they could be just sourcing the same keybed from the Chinese company that makes it. I'm assuming it's a Chinese company. You can let me know what keybed this uses. It'd be interesting to know. I know the base station uses a Chinese keybed. So, and it doesn't feel like super awful, but yeah, not bad. And I love this layout. You just have so many more controls on the front panel that you just don't have on the Peak, where that involves menu diving. It's just, oh man, just the layout. Also, I feel that everything seems a little more premium. The thing is, the Peak, as far as I remember, everything was mounted to the chassis just like this, so it should have been the same feel. These feel nicer. They should be the same pots. I'm assuming they're using the same potentiometers. Maybe because this is a newer synth that they've learned from their how they made the other one, and they've made this a little better. I mean, I would assume that the Peak would get newer revisions to make the manufacturing a little better, but maybe not. This feels like a premium synth. I can definitely say that. So yeah, really stoked. I hope you'll stay tuned for more videos with me doing the summit. I hope this doesn't become one of those things where, like with the sequential synth, it's like the only synth I ever use. because it's just so damn good. That said, I did have a few problems with my current Take 5, unfortunately. I didn't want to say anything about it, but I'm going to. So I'm not going to say exactly, but there was build quality issues. So I'm going to go with Sweetwater and have them replace the unit. And you won't see the Take 5 until they replace the unit, unfortunately. I was actually kind of disappointed because I had a previous Take 5 that had nothing really wrong with it other than the lower key had a little bit of binding on the aftertouch strip, which is one of the caveats to how FATAR mounts its aftertouch strip in the keyboard itself. My Modal Cobalt 8 and the Argon 8 also had binding the key strip in there as well, and those were FATAR key beds. And I had a Ultra Nova way back in the day when those were fairly modern that had the same issue with a FATAR key bed. So they have the binding issue. This doesn't have the binding issue, obviously different key bed. But yeah, my last Take 5, that's what I'm getting at. My last Take 5 had that issue, and that was the only issue it had. My new Take 5 definitely has some other build quality issues that I'm just kind of upset about for such an expensive synth. I mean, not like super expensive, but again, I think it's expensive. $1,500. It should be a little better built. And this is like, this is a little more expensive, and this is infinitely better built. And I'm excited. So hopefully my next Take 5 will be flawless. And I hope my TO5, my new TO5, when that comes in, will be flawless too. It's just little nitpicks. It's kind of like an autistic trait I just don't like. I will sit and procrastinate on little issues that something has, and they will bother me. So, your mileage may vary, but that's just my feeling about it, especially when I'm spending that kind of money. But yeah, that rant aside, this thing, oh my God, it is great. And I will say that these switches, which the Peak had similar ones for the animate controls, these feel nicer on here. These actually feel really good. They're super responsive. These buttons all feel a lot nicer on the Summit than they do on the Peak. Every Peak I've ever touched or used has had a little bit of a wonky button. These were all wonky on the Peak, for instance. They were like a little off center. These are just like perfectly placed in. I mean, it feels like a premium synth. Everything about this synth feels like a premium synth, and it really should for that kind of price. I mean, yeah, I know there's synths double, triple this price, but it's heavy. I'll give it that. The chassis is nice. It's all metal and I guess wood construction on the side. And one of the features, I can't really flip it over to show you, but the rubber feet, there's a whole strip around the entire thing. So basically any surface you put this on, it should be perfectly stable without like a foot being a little bit protruded over another one. So yeah, I know I'm getting into the little details on this and just rambling about it, but it's a very nice synth. And the other thing I should say, if you're using this in a multi-track situation where you want to track both the outputs separately, this has two outputs. I knew it had an input, so you can use I think you can use the effects section from another device, which is really cool. And I know this is a weird thing to say, but if Novation watches this video, you should think about putting your reverb and effects section into like a small box for synth players. I just think that it would be awesome because this reverb is so good. I mean, here. I mean, listen to that decay. Listen to the modulation. It's wonderful. You don't hear that on built-in effects on synths. It's just something you don't really hear. I'm sure the Moog 1 has really good effects because those are Eventide based, but I've really never sat down. I've never put the time into listening to somebody play a Moog 1 because I'll never own a Moog 1. And obviously a lot of people won't because they're out of production. But that said, that's probably the only other synth to this comparatively that'll have that kind of effects. All right, well, yeah, that's kind of my video, kind of just testing out my new setup to see how everything is. I'll definitely make more videos with the Summit. I mean, maybe we'll just do a lot of videos with the Summit soon. Hopefully my new Take 5 will be flawless, or be, at least for me, manageable to use and not just nitpick at it. I know people are gonna say, oh yeah, you're a little nitpicky on things like that. I don't care. Hopefully, like I said, then we'll make more Take 5 content, and the TO5, my new TO5 should be coming soon, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, I keep messing with this because it's so fun. All right, anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.